Hello and welcome back to episode 6 of Let's Play Figaro. We are returning to the city after a short break, and I was playing the city without recording it the last time, and there was a number of reasons for this. One of them is there were a few things I wanted to work on without the recording on because I wasn't sure how long I was going to be doing it, or if I would be having to save and quit. And it was just not very conducive to like a big 1 hour session or a 45-minute session of playtime. So I actually played about an hour or so in between my last recording, Let's Play 5, and this one. And I've also been busy playing other games and doing other things. Work started, so it's been busy work. So I just haven't had as much time to play lately. But we're back to Let's Play Figaro. I'm starting today's episode with a street level view of my city. Actually, this is a bit embarrassing. I played about 30 minutes of this exact same episode, but my computer crashed, so I'm replaying it now. I'm going to do things as close to what I did as possible, but I found out a few things while I was doing that earlier, so I'm going to try to improve on that. Actually, my original recording was also in this spot, but I had a nice recording of the sunset, and well, I let the game run for too long, so I don't have that sunset anymore. But I'll try to get that into the video at another time. That's really nice. So I want to just start with a street level view of my city. It's kind of something I'd like to do from now on as kind of an entree or an appetizer before the entree of the Let's Play, and it kind of lets you see the city as it is. So this is what I'm talking about, is last month, not last month, but almost last month, because we're on the second to last day of the January. So about a couple of weeks ago, when I played this for an hour without recording, I was mostly fixing up the zoning issues here, so I now have a lot of high density commercial. This casino here actually looks a lot like one that's close to where I work. It's a resort casino, hotel casino, and I don't know if I need to read this. I'm pretty sure this is a modded building, so the person who built this may have actually seen the actual one that I worked at. So, or not I worked at, but that's close to where I work at. So that's interesting that it's there, but it's kind of creepy too to see something that's real life. So we're kind of in this city. And there's a lot of things I've changed around. Well, not a lot, but there's a lot of things that probably you didn't see last time, and that's all these new high-rises. One of the problems I was having... Let's tab out a bit. I'm going to check my VRAM real quick. Okay. So one of the things I was having problems with is... When I first started playing this, I had downloaded a lot of high-rises, player-created high-rises that were built for the original base game, which was City Skylines. It had only one time, which is morning, and so none of the buildings had nighttime lighting like you see here. So I had a lot of high-rises the last time I upgraded this district here that had no nighttime lighting, so it was looking weird. And what I did was I unsubscribed to those workshop items and I resubscribed to a bunch of new ones or upgraded ones of the same versions from the same authors. So I did that, and what ended up happening when I loaded back into the game earlier was I had a lot of empty plots. So I ran the game for a bit more to have the game rebuild a lot of these. So you can see here there's a new tower coming up here. This is user created, this building here. This I'm pretty sure is also user created, and it also happens to now be my tallest building in my city. I'm not too happy about these commercial buildings. They look kind of the same and generic. I'll see if I can get a bunch of new ones to go in, but well, we'll just live with it for now. what I wanted to do, and what I was started to do earlier, was I was going to move these water treatment stations out of the way, move them somewhere here, and redevelop this into kind of a seaside resort area. So we will try to do that again this time, and pick up where we left off. But let's finish with the sunset. I like the sunset. All right. Okay, so let's continue on what we want to do. So first thing I want to do is extend this bridge out to set the tone. This will be a bridge to nowhere for now, but we'll get to it. All right, there's our bridge to nowhere. One of the things I found out when I've made my initial playthrough, and if you're wondering why I'm having crashing issues, it's nothing to do with the stability of my computer, but it's because this game is so demanding and I really want to get the maximum out of my graphics card. I'm actually overclocking my GTX 970 by quite a bit. I'm just trying to find a stable overclocking rate at the moment, so that's what's causing some of the crashes. So I think I've scaled back my overclocking by a little bit, so that might help somewhat. And yeah, and also computers also tend to be less stable when you have it running for a few days without rebooting. So what I found out earlier, what happened I was doing earlier was I had all these water treatment stations. You can see here, these are actually water that's coming out of these holes here. You can see it's water. So what happened was I had these 3 stations lined up on the bank here, this side of the bank. I had my water pumps up here, and what was causing the game to happen was because it's the dumping a bunch of water into the river upstream. You can see the route of the river. If I were to go into my water management, you can see all the arrows. So when that happened, it caused the river level to rise substantially. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these 2 here for now because they're kind of out of the way. But I'm going to move all of these water stations, the pumping stations, and this, and move them here. So we are freeing up a lot of real estate on this little triangle here for my little project that I wanted to achieve. So let's start with moving these guys here. And yeah, I want these upstream because I want them sucking in fresh water. pipes. And then have that pipe connect directly to this pipe here. And actually, I'm going to bypass the pipes here. What happened earlier was I was getting some overflow of sewage. So I want to see if I can avoid that if I don't connect directly to this pipe here. And I'm going to move this here. Nice to look at in the morning commute. A water treatment station. Maybe I'm going to move this closer here. Let's see if we can reroute the pipes. There. And probably want to make sure this is powered. There. Oh, still saying it's not connected. That's weird. Let me move this again. Okay, let's try this again. This is operating normally. Pipe is not connected. I didn't see that before. Can I fix it by moving it? Yeah, okay, that's fixed. That's really weird. Now it's not. Okay. Okay, I think we're okay now. Everything's fine. Okay, let's fix some of these policies here. I'm going to add a smoking ban just to reduce the, oh sorry, not the smoking ban, smoke detector distribution. Just to increase coverage for our fire department because we're having so much fires here. Okay, so now we have this plot of land opened up for us that we can do something for. Okay, so we have these nice strips of land here, and I want to build a marina or some kind of fishing pier. And then there's also a restaurant here, I think. Yeah, restaurant pier. Oh, that doesn't look very nice. Let me, perfect. And I want to call this the, gonna zone in a new commercial area. And I want to try something new because the commercial, they added this in Skylines. You can now zone your commercial as no specialization, which is what these are here in my commercial, most of my commercial zones here. I tried rezoning them earlier, but all my buildings depopped, so that was a bit of a disaster. And this is part of the not recorded section of my video. So I want to zone this as a tourist trap. So let's do that. Also, let's give it that recreational use. I'm sure you know what that is. Parks and Recreation, sure. Okay, so and then I'm gonna zone this as high density commercial. Okay, and this is gonna be the Ultros bar. Oh no, Ultros fish and chips. That's another Final Fantasy reference. Ultros Pier 1. And we're gonna call this the so he kind of owns this whole thing. It's named after him, maybe. Okay. And let's look at our population here. 10% unemployment, 20% seniors. Okay. More births than deaths, that's good. But our unemployment's getting up there. I want to zone some extra industrial here as well. And let's do that. And run it. We're having a bit of a power issue, so I think I need to extend that here. Right, and here we had some residential here for some reason, so I'm gonna fix this up. Actually, yeah, I do want to delete it. Dezone all this residential here. Yeah, I did want to go here and make sure that they have access. Yes, they do have access. Pedestrian access. I do have all these special buildings I unlocked before that I can use. Some of these are fan-made mods. Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to add some pedestrian access here. It looks like we have it, so we're okay. So I'm not going to do anything more. Let's see. Cinema. What's this? Department store. A lot of money for upkeep, though. Huh, courthouse. Official park. So that's for the offices. This is also a fan-made Chirper HQ. This is not a fan-made one, but I'm gonna. The Colossal Order offices is not fan-made. It's the building of developers, but I want to do like a small office park here, so let's add that there. Make these look a little bit better. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is one of my mods. Really, I didn't really do anything to it. This is a pre-existing commercial building. All I did was added shrubberies on top here, and I rearranged the sign. So these are all props that I put into the building. So yeah, but I'm going to just call this the Dexter building. Okay, let's rename some of these. Oh, Figaro Heights Memorial, that's good. I think this needs to be renamed, yeah. Let's call it the University District Crematorium. I've got some nice residential buildings here. Or is this commercial? No, that's residential. That's commercial here. That's University District. Okay, let's... see what we can do here. I'm going to take that out, increase their taxes, give them a bonus. If I can go on the ground level here. No, it's not working as well as I thought. Wish I could stand on that wharf there and look up at the sunset, but hopefully they fix that in a mod or patch. That's for the ground level camera. I can see from here that they're probably looking for, yeah, workers. How's my unemployment looking? 9%? Not too bad. part needs water. So I think I'm going to zone this as office here. And there as office as well. I had mentioned previously in my other videos that I was thinking of rezoning some of these low-rise residential areas as high-rises, but I think I'm going to not do that because it gives it a lot of character, especially if you're kind of just... Imagine you're living here and you're looking down, you see all these low-rises and then the skyline over there. My previous city didn't have that. It was basically one big city with high-rises. And that's because all I zoned was higher density everything. And it just looked weird. It's like you're in a futuristic anime where everything's like high-rises. And that's not really how cities look in real life. So, yeah, so I've just kind of decided that I want something more organic. So I'm going to keep the suburbs as they are. Although, I mean, I might redevelop parts of blocks individually if I think I want to do it, but I don't think I'll do a wholesale change in this case. The other thing here is I'm thinking about moving from wind to a combination of solar, wind, and what I have here is an oil power plant. So the oil will provide my base electric load. I'll have solar, which at one point in this game before they added the nighttime was basically the most efficient power source because it was cheapest basically per kilowatt hour. But because of nighttime, obviously you can't have your solar power plant generating power at night. So your power, if you only had solar power plants, what I found out was when I loaded my older cities, which only had solar power plants, when the nighttime came, the power just ran out. So you obviously can't just have one of those and nothing else. So I'm going to have one of those, have oil and some wind combination. I think that's going to be a good combo because these windmills look kind of ugly. Right, so I also now want to redevelop this area. So these are all the farm areas. I'm going to move up my university district into here. It's probably hard to see. Let's do that. Okay, and then I'm going to rezone some of these farms. Perfect. And that should level up these buildings here. Upgrade some of these roads. Looks like I still need more industrial, so I'm going to build out some more here. Take a picture here. I'm going to create a whole new district here. That's not my intention. Let's try doing that again. It's going to be the King's Park without the farm. And this will be high-tech housing. Sure. Let's raise their taxes here as well. What I want to do with the university district is I want to do this, which I mean, in real life I'm not a big fan of, but let's go with the NIMBY. Old Town? Is it Old Town? No, we don't want to do that. No, actually no, we'll just keep it as is. I was going to do something else, but I don't think I want to mess up a good thing. How about a high-rise band? Can we do that? Oh, I don't want them to de-level my high-rises. There should be an option to no new high-rises or something. But we'll just keep it like that for now. I think this is technically King's Park now. What I wanted to do also was to extend my subway line all the way out here, but now I'm in a bit of a pickle because the way I constructed this subway was I had a line going all the way here. Let's go back. I had a line going all the way here. And then this line kind of just connects to it, but is not part of it, and it's kind of a U-shaped. So, and I don't like doing intersections because intersections create bottlenecks. But this is actually working real well. There's a lot of utilization for this one. You can see, look at all the people lining up here. Jeez. My buses? Is there enough buses here? serve them? Yeah. Okay, so buses are fine, but it's utilized heavily. So I'm just trying to think of how I want to extend my subway without creating a traffic jam. I almost wanted to do like a loop here that loops around here and just transfer people between this station and this station to this station, and then have people transfer over if they want to access these stations. But if I were to cross any of these, they'll make an intersection, and that's going to create problems. So I guess I can do an intersection here and just do a one-off. That would be the easiest solution. And they won't let me do that because, oh yeah, I'm out of city limits, so maybe I should reduce the length. Okay, so what that will... that looks ugly. Okay, Okay, so it looks like the sound dropped out of my original recording, so I'm redubbing this recording again. Uh, Basically, what I did, I suppose, in the last 15 minutes or so should be pretty obvious. I just completed the subway station to the industrial zone, and what we did there is just check to see if it's being used, and it was, but we know that it's not going to be very heavily utilized at this point in time. What I'm doing now is I'm zoning. I built a cinema there at the corner, and I'm zoning an entertainment district, which will be a new thing for me because I think everything else, all my commercial zones are leisure, so or tourist or leisure, so it will be something different. And I don't know what I was saying here, but I think just switching on the policies. So I'm just gonna let it run for a bit, and I'll cut back in for a little bit more commentary shortly. So one of the things that I did talk about in this video, at the end of the video that wasn't recorded was, uh, in this session I was mostly expanding the commercial and the industrial zones. Didn't really do too much work on the residential. I did zone a little bit of the Kings Park area. So in the next episode I will be focusing more towards zoning residential, and right now what I'm doing is I'm building a bus line from my new commercial area to the bus loop because I want to get some foot traffic to that area and get it leveled up as much as possible. I really like the stat view in City Skylines like this, where everything is has no textures and you just see colors. It's kind of the kind of thing you might see on CG recreation of some kind of documentary when you're talking about building some great building or something like that, and they do that technical readout of that building, and you do that stripped down version with just what did they call it again? Flat shading polygons or something like that. The really old style of shading polygons. It makes it look like an info chart that you would see from those kind of TV shows, or even an educational video. And it's in a game being rendered in real time. I can never believe that you know, computer power has moved so quickly. And this is, I mean, I'm not even running on a state-of-the-art computer. It's really quite an older computer. But you know, it's really nice to have a game that can do that. So anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm just checking to see how the entertainment district is doing. You can see that actually there's red lights all around the buildings because, well, it is the red light district with some video arcades mixed in. So it's a nice addition. And what I'm doing there is, again, I'm bridging the pedestrian sidewalk to the main street, so people walking down the street could make a turn and into the side streets, because all those side streets are cul-de-sacs. You can see there they don't connect to the main road, and it's intentional. I didn't want too many intersections, because what I found out in my older city, Narsh, was that if you have an intersection in every single point of your grid, it's just going to get bogged down in stoplights, and it's actually terrible for traffic. So by simply doing that and keeping my intersections to a minimum, I've been able to improve traffic flow significantly so far for the Figaro. Granted, I only have maybe 10%, no, maybe 15% of the total population of my previous city. Narsh, I was able to get to around, I think, 150,000 people. Although I think the first 100,000 I pushed myself, just keep going with the sprawl, but the last 50,000 or so, maybe 60, 70,000, was from all the landmarks and monuments in the game that I built. And there's these hugely overpowered buildings. You know, you just build one hospital, this hospital landmark, and it services your whole city. And you build a fusion power plant, it powers your whole city. There's all these super landmarks, basically. There's a tourist trap, like a space elevator type thing. So what ended up happening was, when I built all those things at the same time, like, my population just exploded. And I think at one point I had 50% unemployment. It was insane. And you know, it just wasn't, it's like, I don't know, there's really no real good analogy in real life, but it's like getting hit with steroids, you know, in real life, taking steroids, and so basically it just completely imbalanced the game, and it was unfun. So I'm going to try to not build any of those. I think I might limit myself to the non-overpowered ones, and that would be the space elevator, which does attract more tourists, but it really doesn't do that much. It doesn't completely imbalance your game. I might also build the fusion power plant, because that will power my whole city. That said, you know, I am pretty fine on power right now. It might save me a little bit of money, but that's it. I mean, what I won't build is, I think there's a longevity landmark. There's a couple of landmarks that increases your population. Oh, there's one that increases your land value of your city to max. It just maxes out your most of your land values, or it adds like a flat modifier to the land values, which, you know, just makes it insane, because all your buildings pretty much levels up. The ones that haven't leveled up levels up, and you know, when they level up, there's more capacity, and you know, it creates a lot of unbalanced games, so I won't probably build those. I will probably build the fusion power plant and the space elevator tourist attraction, maybe one or two more, but I think I will limit myself to just those. I mean, obviously, this is a game. I'm not pretending otherwise. So, what the goal is here is to build Figaro to at least as big as Narsh without that overpowered help from those monuments in the game. I kind of wish that developers rebalanced them, but I don't think they did. I didn't read anything about rebalancing the monuments when they released After Dark. It was mostly about new stuff for After Dark. I think they felt fine doing that. I know there are people who have accessed all 25 plots in the game, which is a mod that you need to build because the game only lets you access 9 out of the possible 25, so 3x3 instead of 5x5. We'll talk about that later when I buy my next plot, but from what I've heard, someone has built a million size city, and I think that's the theoretical limit. Maybe a million and a bit more is the theoretical limit of how big the game can handle. It can handle about 1 million Sims, and as I've mentioned before, the Sims are all real. Well, as real as they can be, because they are actually simulated. They have a life. They are born. They go to school, and then once they're out of school, they basically, go shopping, go to work, go home, have kids, have families and stuff, and die or move away. So for the game to be able to simulate all that, there's a hard cap. I think of 1 million or something odd Sims that the game can handle. So I know that I've heard at least that someone has built a city with 1 million population. I think that would be a hard goal to reach, but my immediate goal is to build a city that's a couple 100,000, more than 100,000 definitely, and I think more than 150, which was I think the highest I've gotten before, and to build something that would be 200,000 to 300,000 population range, and if you're watching this. It is a long-term project, so if you're watching this several years after I've recorded this and uploaded this, and I've managed to hit that limit, feel free to congratulate me. I mean, I'd love to hear from people in the future congratulate me on an achievement that I think currently would be a tough challenge. And this is basically something I'd like to do on my free time, because there's really not a lot of pressure. You're not on a time table, and you're just building, and it's a project that I'd like to get involved in, which is basically to build this city up as big as I can, and basically to access all 25 plots that's available. And what's happening here, basically, I'm just building another block of entertainment zones. Yeah, so I mean, that's my ultimate goal, is to build Figaro into something. I mean, this city you're watching, I started sometime in the middle of last year, actually. The very first episode of the Let's Play, I think I was already at around 10,000 citizens, so the first 10,000 was recorded, but with no commentary, and it's in my channel somewhere. I think I'm going to create a separate playlist for them as like a Figaro silent video or something like that. And I did a few quick After Dark tours of the city when the expansion first came out, and it was really amazing just looking at the city at night. So yeah, there's a bunch of videos of the city. So this city is almost a year old. Probably will hit a year old in a few months. And I hope to be able to continue working on it, and who knows what expansion will come out this year and next year for City Skylines. And when they come out, I will definitely make sure I come back to this city and rework it, depending on what they add. And what I'm doing here is I'm just moving the bus stop over one block for better access, so the people can drop off from their buses and then access both blocks, rather than having them walk 2 blocks to the other side of the furthest part of the entertainment district there. And I did realize that those marinas and the fish and chips are really on the river and not on the coast. So I might move them later once I expand, access more plots of land in this region, and I can access the actual coast. Right here, I'm just plopping down some trees. So the oak trees and the Scott pine, I believe, are actually player modded trees. I had a weeping willow at one point, but it took so many polygons and made my system slightly unstable, or at least it claimed to make systems unstable, that I've actually since decided not to use the weeping willow as one of my tree options. So I'm just filling in that plot there to give it a little bit more character, more greenery. Actually, that's also something I want to do in the future episodes, is to fill in gaps. And there will be gaps on my city where with just trees, just to give it, rather than just have it like flat grassland, to have some trees there, make it look nicer. Because I mean, I don't want to zone every inch of zonable land with roads and things going out. It just doesn't look that realistic anyways. And if you look closely, you can see the shadows of the buildings passing through the apartment blocks in front of us. And that's really one of the nicer effects of After Dark, is that watching the sun set indirectly through the movement of shadows, which is great. We are reaching the end of the video here, so I just want to wrap up my redubbed commentary here. Thank everyone for watching this hour-long video again. I'm having a lot of fun playing this city. I mean, I have to say, when I first started doing Let's Plays, I didn't think I would have so much fun, especially playing Figaro, or City Skylines in particular. It's just so much fun to build a little, go down here like what I'm doing right now, down on the street level, watch people move around, and just see the city evolve. I mean, it's like a real city almost. I mean, it's in a computer obviously, and it's not real and everything's simulated, but in my mind's eye, this is a place that I can visit whenever I want to. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.